It's the final. It's the final countdown.
I knew you were gonna do that as soon as you said it. I was like, no.
Welcome back, everybody, to the caster's desk, and we have just crunched the numbers. And I have some disappointing news for all of you that are getting hyped on the GOATS trade, because they are now out of playoff contention. Sorry, folks. I spread misinformation on the internet sometimes, and this was one of the times that I did it. Apparently, what GOATS needed to do in that last one, Magic, is after match one, or after the first game, they needed to 3-0 Bounty Hunters in set in order to actually make it, because it comes down to the set differential, and Best Western has them beat by 2. So if they didn't lose those 2 sets, didn't give those up early, would have been a different ball game. But alas, we are still here, and we're still in that universe. That also means that the Sundubu Strikers have clinched playoffs, and now it all comes down to this final match for who is going to make it between Best Western and O2KU Hideout. O2KU Hideout needs to win both games in their series tonight versus Oxygen Overdrive in order to make it into playoffs. Otherwise, they will lose tiebreakers to Best Western. So it's all in control here of O2KU Hideout. But Oxygen Overdrive has not been a team necessarily that's been a complete pushover so far in this league, Magic. So this one should be incredibly interesting to watch.
This is going to be very interesting, right? You have to wonder, is Oxygen Overdrive going to play the spoiler? You know, I was expecting a fully competitive match by all means, but do they have it in them? Is it going to be such a contented match where they're not able to push through and win those 2 outright? Oh, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Because really, how must Best Western be feeling, right? Yeah, they're probably just sitting here knowing that this match is happening live and just thinking, this is the last one. This is our last run, and there's nothing we can do.
Best Western is entirely hands off now. You're right. There is nothing they can do. They have already played everything, and they've gotten to the point where they are now, which is 9 total points after their record. And with that set differential of +3, sitting pretty for now, and that gives them the advantage again, because again, there is absolutely no way where that set differential can be made up by these members of O2KU Hideout. And folks, remember, Oxygen Overdrive has already been locked in for relegation. They will end the league in 7th overall. There's nothing they can do here to shake things up themselves. It's all going to be around O2KU Hideout. So apologies from our perspective. We sound biased when we watch these games, but again, that's where the narrative is here, folks. It's going to be basically whether or not O2KU Hideout can end up taking these games. They need both games, again, as a reminder, in order to make it into playoffs. Otherwise, it'll be Best Western that takes their slot. We'll be getting in a game in as soon as we can, as we believe our players are ready. But Magic, you obviously have been like tuning in and out for the majority of the day today so far. We got a patch on Tuesday. Where are we standing in terms of like takeaways here for our final day of league play in the North American Strikers League?
In terms of meta, in terms of like, well,
anything.
Was it
give me meta. Give me meta. Give me meta. Give me anything that the folks can take to their games at home.
There's so many actually good options right now. I mean, like especially in midfield, you can play Estelle, you can play Ivy, you can play Luna, you can play Vice. Like that's 4 pretty good options that are actually at the forefront of the meta. You know, Joker and Penguin have been pushing Asher, actually, which people thought have been falling out of meta. Like we're actually in a pretty good spot. Zentaro's really popular on certain maps and modes, and depending on opening awakenings. And then goalie is a little bit more constrained, but people usually just stick to their one trick. Atlas and Kai are both very strong. Imi is going to be good for the players who know it. And it's not like there aren't other options.
Not like there aren't other options. I mean, look, there's something like 20 strikers in the game, and at this point, it feels like we've seen basically everybody played in the league, maybe except for like Octavia. But other than that, basically everyone's made an appearance. Everyone is here. to join in on the party. And there's a lot of different playstyles that have adapted as well, especially when we start talking about what some of these teams start to lean towards. For the Western teams, a lot of it's been pretty similar, though. Expect to see the Brawler player looking for the KOs, expect to see one person looking for the core control. It's really bounty hunters that have piloted a lot of the more core control heavy compositions, especially when Gravity's Juno is left online. But other than that, right, we're talking overall about some of these other teams that are looking for the more traditional, tried and true, buff up your Brawler and let them run at the opponent. And I imagine we'll be seeing a little bit of that here, especially between Otaku Hideout and Oxygen Overdrive. Both have Brawler players that are looking up there. For the record, Mark XO, currently number 4 in KOs per minute and number 2 in damage per minute in the West. And on the other side, it's Snake, number 3 in goals per minute, but number 1 in damage per minute. So both these brawlers pretty heavy hitting as they start getting into things, and especially as they start scaling with some of those awakenings.
Right, exactly. And that's really the key factor here too, right? Is, you know, Oxygen Overdrive is at 7th, but they can still put out a lot of damage. They're going to be putting on pressure. They know how to make sure that the players that they're going up against are going to be feeling it and not being able to move as much. And especially with the awakenings that got taken out, which were primarily for defense, it's going to be a little bit rough, right? They can't actually survive any longer. They can't use Unstoppable to start tanking hits. They can't use Stagger Swagger to run away. It's going to be a lot more evasions, and the meta is probably going to develop more around those energy awakenings and getting those and making sure that, oh, if I want to survive, I need to be preemptive about it.
And we've seen heavy priority in a lot of those so far in a lot of the drafts. We talked about that a lot, especially leaning towards Fire Up and that additional speed boost that you can get for your team. But it pairs so well with all of these other awakenings as well, because the more energy bursts you get online, the more times you're going to have your team at that little bit of extra speed. And speed is critical in a game of Omega Strikers. But one of the other things, especially as we're talking about brawlers looking towards things here, that Catalyst is suddenly going to rise in priority with a little bit of extra energy getting added for every individual hit. Folks, we are about to head into match, and our map for the first game today will be on Otten City. It will be Otaku Hideout, I believe, on the blue side, and Oxygen Overdrive on the red side.
They're going to be banning Era first. And some pretty interesting opening awakenings, I have to admit. Orb Dancer on Otten City is actually pretty dang important. Pretty cool. We're going to see the Julie get banned away from Alpha Kiwi, who was hovering it. And we're going to see the Era get taken away from the members of Oxygen Overdrive, which, understandably so, you don't want them using those traditional buff your brawlers and go at them.
Based on the way these teams were banning, I
Wait, that's an Octavia!
Skim through everything. Okay, just as I said that, Caster's Curse comes through again. Never mind all this brawler nonsense. The Octavia comes out. I don't know what's gonna happen, Magic. We'll see what ends up coming through with this.
Okay, so I've been playing Octavia like since she came out, really, but I'm no expert for sure. I'm not as good as these players, but I can tell you that it's gonna be a show, because this character can run around this map and slow players down like it's nobody's business. It's kind of instead of having a brawler, you're just gonna have someone who's dedicated to scoring.
And that dedicated scoring, especially in Otten City, where you imagine that goal barrier is going to be down even more frequently. Potential opportunity here. But again, reminder, folks, it is Otaku Hideout that needs both game wins in order to come away and clinch themselves towards the playoffs. We're getting information now that this is the second Octavia in the league. And the only other pick was from the Joker, who ended up winning that match earlier in league play. So it has won. It's got a 100% win rate so far. We'll see if it can be 2 for 2 here. As it now, it's going to be Marco that gets KO'd off of the pitch. But as I say that, goal barrier still falls, and now forced to go right between the IME turrets there. Open net both sides here. as we are already lasting a minute into this first one. Marco immediately uses that speed boost the second that he comes back online, looking for this one on forward, but now the barrage comes in to KO the Aimi away. It'll be Achilles and Naka looking for this one, and by the way, beautiful combination here for the Zentaro and the Rasmus. Naka has been putting on a spree so far on Rasmus in this league as well. Worth mentioning there as the goal goes.
This is eject button Zentaro forward, by the way. I just want to throw that one out there. That is what we're seeing right here. Which, I mean, it is very cool. It's an insane tech that I've seen a couple of times before. And especially against somebody like an Octavia, it's super nice to have those shortened cooldowns to constantly keep her down. Because that is one of the ways to deal with her, is that you need to be KOing her constantly, or else she's going to slow you down. But also that Egoist is going to be really good to prevent her from really KOing you with that ultimate, with those pulses. Here comes a core flip, and oh, Gengar wasn't expecting that one.
I mean, you just have to imagine that was going to the top corner anyway. That could have been a potential block there, but nonetheless, beautiful angle there from Marco, able to find that. And hey, look, that's the power of this energy burst. That's the power of that empowered strike after the core flip. That's the way we see the game played for now, and especially with the Egoist as well. That was taken by a majority of the members here, despite Orb Dancer being up on Otten City. It's going to play that much larger of a role now as the pass is starting to come through here for Oxygen Overdrive, looking for this one on forward, but no, won't for now. Naka up to Kilius, trying to dash in, no, but still has that energy burst at their disposal as well. There it is, trying to get it passed up, but Marco's still back, sped up with the Octavia, but he'll get sent off of the pitch for it. Power play opportunity, Naka interrupted by the Giga Blast. Kilius dashing forward, looking for this here, but Best Jelly still able to send it away for now. Once again, Pendulum Swing coming through. No, won't connect. As we see more interruptions here, and the passes have been there, but the connections on back have not been coming through.
Best Jelly has been doing a wonderful job at keeping the core out of that goal. When you're facing against two brawlers that are known to have amazing stuffing potential, and being able to just completely convert around that and keep these opportunities open for his forwards, super good play from Best Jelly.
And for the record on that note, Best Jelly #1 in saves per minute in the Western League. So certainly living up to that name is now Gengar able to find a save there as well, but Alpha Kibi is on the job to send that core right on back. It's 2-1 to the favor of O2KU Hideout.
This is looking good. This is exactly the start that they need, right? They're going to try and chip this away. They need to be confident. They're going to try and scale with those awakenings, which are going to be really important for all of these characters, really, as Markixo is able to pick up that kill with the burst, with the pulses of the ultimate on Octavian, has the energy burst at the ready. This is a really good opportunity for a power play if they can manage it, but no, Helios is able to get it through.
Oh, and Gengar on the speed boost as well, able to come back using some of what is that speed boost coming through as well. Now, looking for this one here, still looking for the offensive here. Marco trying to dig this one out of the corner, and now Alpha Kibi as well getting involved, but not able to find it towards the goal barrier. Gengar been playing so well so far. And now the barrage interrupts things out of Naka here, preventing things. Core flip comes through as well, and the goal still doesn't go back. Now the KO comes through. And it's a power play opportunity once again for Oxygen Overdrive, looking for the pass. Gengar up to Naka, now dribbled off the wall, dodging around the barrage for now. Pendulum swing through, but Best Jelly once again sending it away. Kilius on the midfield line, looking for the leap forward, but can't find the angle for now. And that's going to be a lot of what this is looking like here, trying to find this dash. Just out. Second goal barrier will fall. Marco looking for this one here, but that speed boost will expire temporarily. Looking to send this one on forward. Alpha Kibi, though, in position off of the top corner and is able to send that one down on away. O2KU Hideout, one set on the way to playoffs.
Orb dancers are so important for the Kais on this map. Being able to run around constantly and having that amazing burst and being able to build that up. And especially because Orb Ponderer on this draft is going to be immediately stacked for Best Jelly, and that's going to be taken away from the Kai on the side of Oxygen Overdrive. I don't know, that's a really big deal.
Big deal for now as you see the rest of these awakenings come on through. Other thing that's notable about Orb Ponder, we haven't seen orb sharing come up yet as well. Suddenly, that just skyrocketed through the roof, especially given by the fact that Best Jelly now has 10 stacks on both of the Orb Ponder and Orb Dancer, and could potentially share all of those benefits with the rest of the team. And that'll be notably scary for the Octavia, especially, who really relies on having all of those abilities on.
Right, having the cooldowns and having the speed as well, just generally. You see the slick kicks taking effect, as well as the speed boost in general, making her an absolute menace and a threat. But who else is a threat except that Zentaro with the Super Surge, which is really important for Zentaro's kit to really put it online, get those longer dashes, get those harder hitting dashes, which improve basically all of his abilities.
Able to send that one on back there as well. And now looking to try to keep the pressure once more. Achilles again looking for this forward, but starts to get bullied away by a lot of these projectile abilities. You see the Giga Blast, the Glitch Pop, all coming back as well. But still, possession maintained right now for Oxygen Overdrive. They're able to break through the goal barrier here, but they're going to lose control of the core. It goes right on over to Marco, who's looking for this one, using the primary, but won't find it. Now pass back with the Glitch Pop. Alpha Kibi to themselves. Now looking for the dash forward on the Cyber Swipe. No, not this time around. As the turret comes out again, looking to buy a little bit more pressure. And Marco is once again in position with the speed of this Octavia.
Right, and that's really the threat of Octavia, is being able to get into that goalie's face with that speed and being able and basically forcing a strike war, because at that point all of the abilities are going to be down if you're that close up to him, right? And that's the threat, as already getting another goal barrier down because of that ultimate. This Octavia is online and raring to go.
One energy burst burn to save that other goal barrier as well, but now without cooldowns, Marco is going to be forced to play a little bit more passively as the goal barrier is going to fall on the other side of the pitch as well. Looking for this one. Primary comes out, looking for the strike. No. Gengar will still be able to send that around and up to Naka. Uses the speed boost themselves, and now we'll be looking for this one as Marco tries to pressure Gengar back. Will dodge away for now as the KO comes through. The Zentaro falls off of the pitch. Power play opportunity past themselves. Marco still looking for this one as energy burst is already in there. It is in the corner, stuffing Gengar as well there. Once again, OTKU hideout back up the set point. Still need to keep the streak rolling.
This is gonna be it, all right? This is the momentum that they have, and especially if they're able to get Orb Replicator off of this next draft. I mean, there's almost no stopping this team. There's so much core control and actually a decent amount of KO pressure because of the power native to Ivy's kit and native to Octavia, who can just all of a sudden, if you're not being careful, hit you with a Q and start bouncing you out of the arena. This is a very good opportunity.
I will say, though, we don't see a lot now. Core Flip used, doesn't quite find the goal gates in time. The pressure still continues, though. Pendulum Swing trying to come out. Marco uses that speed boost, trying to get this core away, and will be successful in doing just that. But the other thing I've noticed here, Best Jelly hasn't been as active or involved as Alpha Kibi, able to send that turret back. So as we head to this carousel, I doubt it's going to be Best Jelly actually with the first pick in the draft. Indeed, it's Marco that'll get this first pick out of the Awakenings. Orb sharing is not online, but what is Fire Up.
It is Fire Up as well as Twin Drive, and you have to be thinking about what's best in slot for this Octavia, or what do you want to deny? And she's gonna go with the Fire Up. The team decided that's really important. Kai's gonna have to settle for Missile Prop, and Timeless Creator is gonna go over to the Ivy. This is really, really good draft if you're on the side of the Otaku hideout. Oxygen Overdrive getting, you know, a couple of good ones as well. Twin Drive on that Zentaro gonna make those dashes, those eject button dashes, even more prominent, even more often, on top of that Super Surge.
Oh, and look at this! Dashing across the map is Kiliast, able to find one KO there. Now dashing forward, looking for the goal. Naka in position to try to scoop this one up from Gengar, and now looking to force it through with the Pendulum Swing as well. But there's Kiliast again. Won't be able to send it back. Best Jelly holds for now. Giga Blast comes out as well, and now offensive on the other side of the pitch, but no. Naka with the core, looking for this one as Kiliast dashes in once more. With those two forwards on top of one another, they lose possession of the core. Best Jelly and Alpha Kibi looking to dig this one out of the bottom side as well. Turrets online here, trying to cause something, and there, the core will connect. Marco's in position again to send it back. You blink for a second, and suddenly this Octavia is right there in front of the goal line.
And especially with that extra stagger means that she can be in that face and not face too many of the same repercussions. Going to be at least able to stick around a little bit longer. And especially with that added buff from Big Fish, the extra size means she's going to be winning those strike wars if you're not careful because of that extra range. Energy burst is online, and all in all, I don't see a really good way for Oxygen Overdrive to actually overtake this, especially when they don't have the anti-stuff.
Where are you going to be able to find it here as the rock continues to get procured for Mark XO? Be looking to try to send this one on through. Again, Otaku Hideout has all of the momentum here. Have to be feeling pretty confident themselves as well, as they need to win both this one and the next one for their slots in playoffs. When with the KO taking Killiest off of the map as well, we'll be looking to try to continue this one, and there it is. Mark able to come up with one, and Gengar can't quite seem to send it back as the barrage comes through from Best Jelly as well. Everyone gets involved on Otaku Hideout to send them 3 sets forward and on through in this first game.
Clean play. Honestly, they knew exactly what their win condition was, which was enabling that Octavia and putting on so much core control that they couldn't actually dance around it. You know, they decided to go with the double, kind of more of a double brawler composition, and a very interesting style on the side of Oxygen Overdrive, and it didn't really pay off for them. They just kind of danced around them, weren't getting hit by abilities. That none of these KOs were getting secured. Like, it was just a super low damage game. And that's not what you need if you're running that Zentaro and the Rasmus.
It's a super low damaged game, which is surprising, despite the fact that I was hyping up all of these brawler players earlier. But look, Mark XO able to put on a showing on this Octavia here as well. I recognize those stats were pretty fast, but we got a screenshot of it. Had 97 redirects as the forward Octavia. Best Jelly with 125 as well. And the highest damage was Alpha Kibi, only with 20,733. That was the highest out of everything there, and albeit it was an incredibly fast game altogether, but even still putting on quite a showing here. So now if you're Oxygen Overdrive, who right now is trying to hold the line for Best Western, who is really rooting things on here, do you try to ban away the Octavia?
Surely not. Surely you keep them off of that Juliet that can terrorize them and that can really mess up their plans. But again, it depends on their plans. And if Octavia is going to throw a major wrench into them, they need to shut it down or figure out a way to consistently KO it, which is having that Julie online, in which case, what do you ban in instead? Is it that Aimi? Was it just good on Otten City? What map are we going to be seeing anyways? There's a lot to take into consideration as we get into the second game, and Otaku Hideout needs this to win their spot in playoffs. Oxygen Overdrive is Best Western, has their chance in their hands.
Aimi's app is the stage, which has to be great news for Naka on Oxygen Overdrive. Again, has been piloting this Rasmus. You saw it in the last game as well. And indeed, it'll be the Rasmus ban committed here for the side of Otaku Hideout to try to take that one away. We see the starter awakenings on our screen magic. Okay, it is the Juliet, not the Octavia pivot that comes through, but it's Orb Replicator and Reverberation online here. Not too overly, obnoxious starting awakenings.
Not too overly obnoxious, but honestly, it's another good pick for Octavia. Having the extra stagger is really beneficial, and having the CDR means that you can have that flow state up much more often. We're going to be seeing not a mirror match. We're going to be seeing Luna once again, as well as the Drakkar in the midfield. Lots of Luna today, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it. This is going to be a high damage game, which can really mess up that Octavia's plans. If they end up just getting bounced around, it's going to be a problem, especially with that hole in the middle.
Reverberation taken by 5 with only Best Jelly picking up the Orb Replicator. But look at this already. The goal barrier is going to go down. Looks like pressure was able to get dispersed there for a moment. And Naka, by the way, forced on over to the Drakkar here instead of that Rasmus, obviously, which was banned on away, which makes sense. Again, just don't want to even have to think about it, especially with a relatively low stagger Octavia. But all the same, projectiles starting to come forward here. Gengar able to send it away with the rocket, and now it's Alpha Kibi able to respond right back with a few abilities of their own.
That's not what you want to see if you're on the side of Gengar. You're thinking, that's so rough. You send out those nukes to try and clear out space, to try and prevent people from getting near you, and it just ends up setting the core right back into your face. Luckily, it seems like they aren't too deterred. Oxygen Overdrive still has lots of chances and lots of nukes to drop. This is going to be a game where, again, if they get rolling, if they get that damage online, this is going to be a really good opportunity for them.
Special comes out here, blocks off one half of the map, and now looking to dash forward here. Kilius trying to find the ultimate, but no, it'll be the core flip used by Best Jelly to send things away. And both goalies keeping their barriers up for now as we see some abilities exchanged there. Alpha Kibi is going to go down, though, to the lock and load of the Drakkar. Power play opportunity, but the connection can't be made. Giga Blast comes out here as well, but now it's the double KO. Gengar able to connect with a rocket here and looking for this goal barrier. Finally able to find it, trying to find this strike into the net, and there it is. Finally comes through as Naka's in position.
And look at the 2 gear from Luna and the Drakkar. They're pummelers. They're going for these pushback KOs, which is not the game plan on the side of OTKU Hideout. They're going to be trying to control this core and make sure that they're annoying as possible. And these two kind of clashing styles are going to be meeting in the middle and saying, all right, well, which one is actually going to work better? And if they're not careful, they could easily end up getting over KO'd. But that's such a nice setup from Mark XO. With lots of love sending that goal into the core.
Beautiful dribble play there. Able to find the rebounds when they matter most and keeping control of things just completely solo. And able to send that one on away. And now here we go, trying to use that speed boost, but no, won't be able to connect with it this time around. Gengar, though, not able to find the strike in time, and now starting to approach is Mark, looking for this one here. Special sending things backward, and there's the rocket, sending this core back the other direction. There's the core flip used. Now it's going to be sent back the other way as Naka tries to keep it up, but with Kilius low on stagger, possession goes right back over to Mark, who's looking for this one, but there's the Giga Blast coming through from Best Jelly, sending one off of the map for now. Naka can only do so much, able to find the lock and load once, but not twice. It's OTKU Hideout able to take the first set.
So we have some updates now that this is the last map of the day. We know for sure that if OTKU gets 2 sets, they are out of relegation. That is what they need there to secure 5th place. If they win 3 sets, then they're good. But the Oxygen Overdrive has plenty of chance to play spoiler and send OTKU Hideout into relegation.
And the fact that it is a single set deciding whether or not OTKU Hideout makes it to playoffs or makes it to relegation is mind-blowing and goes to show just how close the West League has been so far. Folks, you saw a lot of those things go through, most notably the chrono boost for Mark here as well on this Octavia. That extra movement ability will come in so clutch, but won't come in as clutch when you're low on stacker. There it is coming through here. And now that Molten Bolt as well gets him low and knocked off of the screen there. Naka able to pick up the goal barrier, but the turret able to separate things out for now. Kilius doesn't expect the pass to come through the turret. Is Gengar scooping up the core once again. Now Naka looking for this one in the cloak. Dashing forward is Kilius. No, can't find the angle this time around as we see the members come back online. But now, no, another power play opportunity comes in here. is the core control still seems to be suffering a little. Can't quite seem to put this one back as Mark is still dribbling this one around. Has that chrono boost. Look at how fast this Octavia is moving to the beat. Now the goal barrier is down. Alpha Kibi looking for this one forward. No, that one's going to get sent away. An energy burst. Finally, another KO comes through, and it's a power play once again. Can Auction Overdrive capitalize this time around? Core flip used out of Best Jelly to send it back the other way. Buying some space for a moment. Now Giga Blast, hold on a second. Almost sends the core in a wicked angle. But doesn't come up with it for now. Naka, once again, control of the core. I've seen this one before. Mark able to find the knockout there. Now we see Kilius dashing forward again, looking to try to keep something going. But they just can't fully get things into high gear. Auction Overdrive can't. And instead, it's the connection coming through from Alpha Kibi to Mark to send the core to the bottom corner.
There's so much long-range control, and there's only so much as Zentaro can do with that catalyst, with that eject button, because they just keep getting it away from their potential strikers, from their potential like scoring options. And if they can just keep playing that keep away, that there's nothing that they can do, especially with the speed that Mark has been throwing at them. That chrono boost lasted so long, that flow state lasted so long, helped out by that chrono boost, means that there's not a whole lot that they can do because it could just cover so many options. Kilius needs to try and find a way with Naka to start getting these pass plays online alongside the long-range pressure from the Luna, and they can actually take this one and start pushing that pace. But if Naka's just getting sectioned away here and is not able to get up there, in there consistently, then it's going to be an issue.
Uh-oh, here comes Mark, though. Gengar able to send it away off of the corner, but still, actually, no, loses the speed boost for now. Naka not able to send this one forward. It's Kilius looking to try to win this 1v1 in the midfield versus Alpha Kibi. It looks like it'll be Gengar forced to use the energy burst there, trying to send it away. Again, you don't want this core to get in front of the Octavia, just like you don't want the core to get in front of the Juliet. Kilius dashes forward. The core flip on the goal line for Best Jelly, saving that one on away. As now we see Explosion come out again, out of Gengar. Core flip used. Kilius can't find the angle. That one gets sent away. As now the pass comes through again, but can't find it. Up to Naka, who's still sitting on the midfield lines. Now looking to start moving forward here. Molten Bolt out, able to find two members, and Mark is going to be sent away for the time being. There's the ultimate out again. Kilius still can't find the angle. Now doesn't have the dash to go forward. And still all members are alive. Mark is back nearly to full stagger. They'll be looking to try to send one back the other way. Beautiful glitch pop, trying to keep the pressure here as well from Alpha Kibi, but still can't find the goal for now. Looking for the capitalization here, digging it out of the corner, but Kilius is there as well. The projectiles continue to come in for both sides as the pass starts to come through off of the hold. No, not able to find it this time. We'll see what else happens. Is now Mark forced it back on away, but Naka and Kilius both have been playing around the midfield line. They're not playing very far aggressive, and now they get punished for it. Alpha Kibi still able to find the shot to the bottom corner.
Can we just talk about that play from Best Jelly where he Giga Blast down and had the strike shot up and there was nothing that the players could do because it was timed so freaking perfectly? This goalie is playing out of his mind as Alpha Kibi gets that Cyber Swipe onto Kilius, sending him down and out. Oh, there's only so much Gengar can do. That Luna goalie can get stuffed at any moment. If it's just an Octavia primary, if it's an Imi turret, if it's a Giga Blast, there's so much that can shut her down once that goal barrier falls.
Best Jelly credited with MVP. Again, folks, #1 in saves per minute in the Western League. And now we'll get rewarded stealing away the missile propulsion from Gengar. Will be forced to settle for Deadeye. Not terrible on the whole, but Magic, most notably, Otaku Hideout is one set away from stealing their spot away from Best Western.
Stealing their spot, and they're secured 5th place. No relegation for Otaku Hideout. They're going to be chilling until the next season. They want their playoff spot for sure, but they can rest easy knowing that they are going to be back.
We'll see if Oxygen Overdrive has a response now, as again, haven't been able to control the core nearly as much. Mark has been obliterated in terms of stagger. Kilius actually saving him for a moment, but will get taken out nonetheless by the lock and load. We'll see if the pass can come through. Naka still waiting on the top midfield, looking for this one to go on back. You see everything coming in as well as now that Imi turret as well, trying to keep up a little bit of pressure, but no. Gonna be possession back on over. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication as that rocket erupts things away from Naka, and the power play opportunity comes through for OTKU Hideout. They're looking for this one on forward, able to find the goal barrier. Mark able to stagger Naka on away. There's a glitch pop as well, and Gengar can't make it back in time for the save. 2 goals away for OTKU Hideout to clinch their playoffs.
And it has been clean from OTKU Hideout from the get-go of this series. They just need 2 more and they can seal this one away and get their chance at winning the NASL prizes. They just need to make sure that they don't end up fumbling this one. See if the nerves get to them, right? Anything can happen. It is Omega Strikers.
Anything can happen indeed. Crazier things have happened today, including the Octavia pick, but it's working out right now for Mark, who's able to find the goal barrier here as well. Can't keep up the speed boost, but Best Jelly is there on the energy burst, and it's just 1 goal for OTKU Hideout that's remaining.
Nah, this guy's next level. I think Best Jelly is the MVP of this entire series, 100%. Has just been an iron wall and has known exactly how to thread the needle between offensive and defensive commitments, because especially since he's able to keep this goal barrier up for so much longer than the counterparts on Oxygen Overdrive, and because of that is able to put on so much more offensive pressure. That's just so important. It's really a snowball, right? This game snowballs super hard.
Keep talking, Magic, because now first goal barrier down onto the side of Oxygen Overdrive, who will be looking to try to take a goal right on back. But with Kilius low, the cyber swipe comes through, and Alpha Kiwi able to connect with the goal barrier. Mark still trying to bully away Gengar here, but the core is gonna falter right on through things. Naka able to pick up that goal, keeping Oxygen Overdrive alive for a moment.
Alive for now, but I mean, they look like they're on their deathbed. You know, wrinkles in the skin, kind of pale. Like it's not looking great, but they're fighting back. That heartbeat has not flatlined yet.
It hasn't yet. As you see things come through once again for them. Naka looking for this as well, and will find it. Naka been able to put these goals back for now. Still fighting against match point here. Best Western, your hopes are still alive for a moment. They hinge on this next goal.
Right. If you're OTKU Hideout, now you're getting scared. Right now you're just like, okay, come on guys, come on fellas, let's get this one through.
One more.
Let's get this. We just need 1 more. That's all I need. And if you're on the side of Oxygen Overdrive, you're like, all right, this is all they get. 2 is all they get.
Goal barrier down. Naka low on stagger as well. Probably soon going to be completely staggered. Now we see the special come out, sends it back the other way. Mark in position, looking for this one. Synergy burst out of Kilius, trying to save things for now. Mark still in position. The turret still in, trying to keep up the pressure, but no, it still gets sent away. There's the energy burst on the line, and Mark will put the final goal back for OTKU Hideout, clinching their spot in the Western Division playoffs.
Clinching indeed, pulling out the Octavia now that it's unbanned, using so much offensive pressure from everyone to keep that core in their control and dance around the members of Oxygen Overdrive like it was nobody's business, quite honestly. Super good play. And it's not like the Oxygen Overdrive did not play well, but they just could not keep up with that pace. And that's OTKU Hideout securing their spot in playoffs.
Again, another low damage game, and overall, some of the knockouts were starting to come through there for a while for the side of Oxygen Overdrive, but it just wasn't enough, especially in the times where it matters most. So often that core was just picked away from them, or they couldn't find all those passing plays, and then of course they had to get it around Best Jelly somehow, who was still the MVP of that series, is designated in game, and was able to come up with so many different saves. Magic.
So many different and so many unique saves, so many last minute saves, being super patient with that strike. Just impressive overall. I can break this down, but I'm not going to do as well of a job as someone who knows the game a lot more than I do. We are going to be sending this over to Coach Yoki one more time. I've been Magic 8-Ball with K-Bot, signing off for the last time in the NASL regular season.
We'll see you in playoffs.
Thank you, K-Bot, and especially Magic 8-Ball for the extra long, the double casting block. But here I am, The final regular season Yoki analyst desk.
Sheesh. Yeah, and today, or sorry, not today, but tonight we had an interesting matchup. I think this might be the first time that I've seen anybody try to switch who's actually playing what role after initial draft, where Achilles actually cues goalie so that he gains access to goalie awakenings and takes the eject button, where we had Gengar using the slit kicks on Kai for the first game, and then pummelers on Luna for the second game. And in practice, from a theoretical approach, it's not a bad idea. As you can see here, Kilius is able to, from a more defensive position, where if there was a defensive clear from Best Shelly, Kilius would probably have the priority on the rotation. Is able to, from his half of the field, engage onto the core using a secondary. And then after applying all the pressure that he's able to, eject back and then receive the clear from Gengar to rotate the core to Naka to then apply pressure onto the top barrier on the opposite side of the map. And the idea is good. This was one of the only scenarios that I saw from the entire match where it was winning. And that's just because, unfortunately, it's hard to execute. It's unreliable. And there just wasn't enough value. So we see Naka here forcing to clear down, and Kilius from his side of the map engages and follows up, but the dash is short. Kilius is not able to land the shot, and that's just because it is difficult to execute. There's a degree of prediction involved. There's a degree of luck. There's also just a degree of skill that was not demonstrated today. So we have Gengar running up using the 10 orb dancers to control. But what ended up happening more times than not is because Kilius is playing this defensive anchor play style on both maps. Mark XO and Alpha Kibi were anchoring positions where Naka was anchoring, and that just gave us Shelly security that anytime Kilius was out of the play, they could secure core control and funnel onto this bot barrier. So where we see Gengar bottom, we see Kilius to Naka top side, where versus 3 players. So for Gengar to clear the core up would now mean clearing it where Mark XO has a primary to deny the clear, has potentially speed and priority on the rotation to intercept a clear up from Gengar, and then also Alpha Kibi's IME turret always denying the upper clear. So Gengar's kind of just left to fend for themselves versus IME turret, now Octavia primary, now Giga Blast, now IME strike, and it's overwhelming. And then here Gengar loses to 50 to get scored on. And it's a very difficult situation to be in. And if you're going to play this style, you have to be winning on offense just as hard as you're losing on defense to be competitive. And as we see here, this is an opportunity for Kilius to transition, win this 50 with the secondary, and transition onto offense without losing the defensive positioning to strike war versus Alpha Kibi. And the secondary doesn't hit, which is unfortunate. But that's once that it doesn't happen. And we saw the example in the previous set where the bottom goal did not happen whenever Kilius was blinking from their side of the field. So then here we have Kilius using their ultimate to try to win possession, and Naka's not able to 1v2 score. And then as Kilius gains possession again here, once again is trying to transition with the secondary to go on the offense. And this is where I was saying that it's not a consistent strategy. It's not reliable to win games. If this needs to hit in order for you to have a chance at scoring a barrier, it's just not reliable because it ends up not hitting. Kilius immediately has to eject back. And not only are 2 or 3 awakenings used as well as gear for no value in this clip, but it's also putting Gengar at a slight disadvantage with their awakenings as well. So then as they transition onto offense, the side of Otaku, we have Mark XO, core flip, primary, setting themselves up, and then are able to strike and then ult. And because, once again, the IME turret is denying the bottom clear, we see Otaku is just funneling Octavia the core, and then Octavia with secondary ideally or ultimate is going to be able to just hard core control and win the matchup versus the Kai. We saw this more in game 2, this combo being used to secure goals and win games. Mark XO picks up a good primary kill there, and we rotate the core to Mark XO, who pops secondary. And in this situation, Mark XO misses a strike to keep the secondary active. But once this Imi turret goes down, we see Alpha Kibi and Best Shelly are fully committed to funnel Mark XO the core. So Mark XO can position, theoretically with secondary, to win strike wars on the goal line, receive passes, score goals, and after securing the first kill, Best Shelly is able to play aggressive and like rotate and secure that top goal. And then the last clip for the night, we have Mark XO pitching the core below the Imi turret again, applying more pressure. But this clip specifically, I wanted to focus a little bit more on Mark XO's ability to anchor as Octavia. So pops the speed there to get a burst engage onto Kiliast to get an early strike that, positions the core outside of Kiliast strike hitbox earlier than Kiliast would expect it. This prompts Ginger to respond with a secondary, and then Mark XO positions forward as if to deny this range of clears. And then as soon as the clear goes up and no offensive opportunities available, Mark XO is able to use the speed that they have to reposition at the choke point on Imi's up to maintain possession of the core and win the strike war. This forces a core flip, and Mark XO just positions back. And this forces Kiliast to instead pass into Octavia, who has secondary, clear down into Alpha Kibi instead. And once this happens, Alpha Kibi returns the core back to Cinder on the top side, uses the Imi turret to deny the bottom clear, and then because Mark XO uses primary, maintains secondary, and we're back at square one. Mark XO has an empowered secondary. There's an Imi turret. Alpha Kibi's hard committing. We have the Giga Blast denying the top corner clear, while Best Shelly can then rotate to fill in the spot that Alpha Kibi left. And all Mark XO has to do is anchor this top side to keep full possession of the core. So we see Mark XO keeping possession, and then strike into core flip, eventually puts a nail in the coffin, sends this game home, and secures their spot in playoffs. So honestly, between the games that we saw earlier with Joker and Puffy on the Octavia era, where era is kind of more enabling the Octavia to have speed and core control, I really liked the Imi idea with denying the clears and forcing the defending team to either clear back into Octavia or down into the Imi turret. So this good strat worked both games. O2O failed to adjust or failed to secure the offensive value they bet on with the Zentaro eject strategy. And in my opinion, this was really just a strat diff, Saya.
All right, thank you, Yoki, as always. And I'll just send it to the standings because I think that's what people.
Yes, I'm excited to see the final
right
standings.